So, hope everybody's doing well. Let's go ahead and get the desktop volume up a bit. Lanzer, I believe he's talking about Campaign Series Middle East, the one we're playing right now, as a matter of fact. Let's make sure the mic is okay here. So we've got a few more minutes before the stream starts. I'm going to give it, about 3 or 4 more minutes for people to get here, and we will jump right in. We're playing an actual ambush battle here, where we're ambushing a number of what I believe to be Jordanian enemies here. As you can see, they've got a lot of T-55s. Definitely, this is 1973, so a T-55 is pretty much a little bit outdated. That being said, we've got some beautiful tanks over here. Namely, we've got the Shokal, and I want to go ahead and take a look here at this tank. This is a British Centurion tank, of course, that has been used and essentially purchased by the IDF, by the Israeli Defense Forces, for combat, and it's quite a tank. It really is. In fact, I believe if you look over here on the right side, that is the Centurion tank right there underneath the Campaign Series logo. Right there in the middle is one of these Centurion tanks. So these things are much more modern looking, of course, than a T-55. Not always best in combat. T-55s have their uses, but in this case, I think we stumbled onto something pretty nice. Yes, we did indeed, Pixel. We did indeed. Does everybody hear the mic all right? About time, says Zach. Very cool. Yeah, I know a few people were really looking forward to some more campaign series, so very happy that you guys are into it. Hello, Vintortar. How are you doing, man? It might not be. Yeah, it's. I'm guessing here. It's. It certainly looks similar, but of course, this is a more updated Centurion tank. And actually, let me take a look at that again. So once again, that's what I'm guessing is a Centurion. But if anybody knows what it is, you can certainly tell us. It's certainly more modern than a lot of the tanks being used here by the enemy, the T-55s. Very good, Vintortar. Very good. Thank you, Syntax. Hey, Wable, good to see you as always, my friend. All right, guys, it's good to see all of you. I think we'll go ahead and jump right in now. We are going to be playing a battle here as Israel, and what I want to do here, this is a fairly short battle. This is the October War Scenario number 2, and basically what's happening is we've got a massive group of Jordanian armored vehicles trying to escape this area. They didn't expect us to be here. And I want to call this area like an oasis. Basically, our men were set up here waiting for them, prepared for them, and we are now ambushing this massive convoy of armored vehicles. Now, the thing is, they outnumber us dramatically. There's no doubt about that. But what I'm hoping is that our tanks and essentially their ability is going to be so good that we're going to be able to go ahead and destroy just about anything in our path. After this, I wanted to see if we could show you guys the first Intifada, which is really, I hesitate to even call it a single mission. It's basically an entire campaign. It's a massive mission. And for those of you that don't know about the Intifada, of course, that's the PLO, or the Palestinian Liberation Army's uprising against Israel. And it's a really, really challenging mission because you're being attacked at times by armed citizenry. But if you open fire on the armed citizenry and kill them, you actually lose victory points. So you kind of have to learn to get through the mission while also avoiding killing as many armed citizens as possible. And obviously trying to kill the main PLO leaders. It's a tough mission. It's my favorite one in the game so far. But again, it's tough. Now, this one that we're doing right here, the October War scenario, I love the October War scenarios. There's a lot of them. And if you're looking just for like a quick fun game, I highly recommend these October War scenarios. So without further ado, we're going to get started. I'm going to take one more look over here. And Lanzer says the Operational Art of War 4 is a great game. Hi, Garys. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Redster. Good to see you, too. And I agree completely. So we're going to get started. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, we got rid of the ding. So I think the way to do that, and I actually figured this out, I believe you go here to options, and you can click this beep on error. You guys see that button there? You definitely want to turn that off. If not, you're going to get a continuous ding every time you accidentally click a unit or click on a square where you can't move units, etc. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this beautiful, beautiful Shokal tank here. I want to take the entire group, but I'm just going to fire with the Shokal. And the distance these guys can fire is also pretty unbelievable. So we're going to target that T-55, and I hope we get a kill. I think our guys are armed with some anti-tank guided missiles, but I'm not 100% sure. Ooh, right there, no effect. We got some return fire. Let's fire again. No effect. So the distance here is incredible, as you guys can imagine. I'm going to go ahead and select this fairly modern Israeli infantry unit. If you guys see that rifle 71B FN, I believe that's referring to the type of rifle, which is an FN FAL, and essentially it's an Israeli rifle for all intents and purposes. We've also got some light machine guns here, but as you can see, not only can they not reach the enemy, but I highly doubt they can really do any damage. We also have Captain El Arish, and this guy is definitely a very, very good commander. Har Arish. The problem is, he's also doesn't have any sort of anti-tank guided missiles, nothing like that. So let's go ahead and grab this other Shokal. I'm going to fire again at the T-55, and that time we reduced by 1. So we did kill one of those T-55s. I'm going to try to finish off the entire group right now. Oh yeah, baby. I love that. So we definitely heard that ping. It absolutely made contact with the tank, and he retreated, which is probably the best thing he could have done in that particular situation. Now let's target this guy, because he's almost done. Boom. No effect. Fire again. Disrupted. All right, well, I was hoping for something better, but I'll take it. If we go up here on top of the hill, we have some more units. In fact, we've got some more Shokal tanks. And I believe even from here, they're going to be able to target the enemy. So you can see the difference here, the actual distance in combat that we have, I guess you could call it the bonus that we have in this battle is the fact that we can fire at much longer distances than the enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and try to kill that T-55 group. We disrupted it once again, but didn't kill anybody. Oh boy. All right. Now, even though we can fire at that distance, don't expect us to necessarily get a hit every time. So we're going to go ahead. I think I'm going to target him again. There we go, guys. Totally eliminated that T-55 group. We're going to focus on this one now. And we disrupted him, but we did not kill once again. So let's jump back up. And as you can see, I'm just trying to select every single unit here that has the capability of firing at the distance. And I'm trying to destroy as many enemy vehicles as possible. So, of course, this is an ambush mission, and that's really what we have to do. As you can see, we've got a burning wreck right there. These guys definitely did not expect us to suddenly start firing from this particular location. There's also some units over here, and I don't want to just focus on the enemy units going over there to the right. So I'm actually going to go over here, and I'm going to start firing right on top of these guys. Don't even want them to get into, not really a wooded area, but there is some cover there, and I don't want them getting there. So let's fire. There we go, reduced by 1. Also, guys, if you see these little red flags on the screen, these are minefields. So the enemy's got to avoid those minefields as well. They've got quite a lot of things they have to do here. We've got Captain Ivan Chen, I believe, and I'm sure I'm horribly mangling these Israeli names. I'm doing my best to get them right. So we did manage to disrupt there. Let's fire again. And once again, the enemy retreated. Very nice. I will jump into the chat here in a second, guys. I just want to go ahead and fire off some more rounds. Sure enough, managed to get the guy to retreat. Now, they're being quite smart at this point. They realize that they're not going to be doing very well, fighting us head-to-head unless they get close. So they're actually moving back. Let's hit this guy. Okay, no effect on that T-55. And I believe that's all we have. Let's just make sure. We've got to make sure that we've used up every single shot, because the fact is we're outnumbered. So if we want to win this battle, we can't let the enemy get close. And as you can see, they're actually going to call in artillery strikes on these positions. I've decided to stay put. I'm not moving because we're already in an excellent position. If you look at the edges over here, you can actually see that we're entrenched in this area. So we should be able to avoid most of the damage from an airstrike, or not an airstrike, but an artillery strike. But you never really know. I'm going to take a look here at the chat. Hello, Piddles. How you doing? Yeah, if you're not seeing the stream live, just reload. Pixel says those T-55s will get nice and toasty once they advance. Oh, absolutely. For sure. So let's go ahead and end the turn. We're turning it over to the enemy. And let's hope for the best. Nope. I don't want to save. And one thing I forgot to do, totally my fault, I forgot to call in Artie. That's bad. But hopefully we'll be okay. Now the enemy's calling in their Artie. No effect on the show call and no effect on Captain Even Chen. So he's doing just fine. Let's see if their artillery hurts us here. They did manage to reduce one guy in our rifle group. So one of the FN FAL soldiers is either killed or wounded. And it looks like they actually have an airstrike here. They just reduced another rifle group. So they do have some air power. But luckily, mostly no effect. You can see here, once again, no effect. Our guys are just fine. Keep those heads down, boys. And I think one of the benefits here is we seem to have the only oasis in the entire map. You know, this is basically a desert map here, but we're in a pretty nice area. So they did drop smoke into our hex. I'm not sure why, because if anything, this actually makes it easier for us to find them and harder for them to find us. Oh well. All right, so they opened fire there. They actually got our Shokal tank to retreat, and this is all shots coming from their T-55s. They just took out one of our Shokal tanks. You have to keep in mind that these groups have several tanks in the group. So we actually just were reduced by one, which means that one of the tanks in that group was destroyed. It's not good. All right, come on, boys. Keep your heads down. It's going to be our turn soon. Now, obviously, their main goal is to take that 200-point area there. You can see the Star of David flying overhead. I don't think they're going to manage, but, you know, anything is possible. And if they get their tanks closer instead of just firing at this distance, they could very well take us out. You can also see there they've got some APCs. I'm sure those APCs have men inside. And way at the back, those vehicles that you see there at the back are actually battalion HQs. So if we could take out battalion HQs and start messing with their command prowess, it's going to really work out for us. There we go. Some more APCs here moving around. And these are the guys that just retreated. Now look, they're moving forward, sure enough. So yeah, I think they have a pretty good idea. The AI has a pretty good idea of what to do. That's another thing I should mention, and actually I was talking about it with Lanzer earlier there in the chat, is that the AI in this game is quite good. You can also make the AI more difficult when you start a match, so you could actually increase their difficulty rating. And the game also has multiplayer by way of play by email. So if anybody wants to, of course, you know, go up against a friend in the play by email, highly recommend you guys check it out. It's really fun, and you know, many people would say, not always the case, but many people would say that playing against a human is a bit more challenging. It really depends on what human you're playing against, of course. The AI that I found has been pretty good, and it's done essentially exactly what I kind of expected them to do when I'm on a medium setting. When I'm on a harder setting, they tend to surprise me. So I think that's pretty fair. I don't recommend going to the easiest setting for the AI because you're gonna win every match with no problem. So here we go. It looks like this guy's moving around. I think he got a little lost there. And that's actually a T-62. Oh boy. So I thought they only had T-55s, but it looks like some of the tanks that these guys have are pretty good, guys. All right, it's our turn. Let's see what we can do, my friends. I'm gonna go ahead and immediately grab this group here. It's a little annoying to have the smoke just because, you know, it's harder for us to select our units, but not really by much. And so these are BTRs. So, you know, there's APCs, BTRs. They are a different class of vehicle, but, you know, the idea is similar. Most of the time, you know, APCs are carrying troops. BTRs sometimes will be carrying troops. Sometimes they'll simply be, you know, a heavily armored vehicle. In this case, I'm really more afraid of their tanks. Let's keep firing. T-55, come on, boys. No effect. Oh boy, that's scary. Actually gonna see if we can get a shot here. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna target the BTRs. I don't want them getting close. And sure enough, look at that, guys. Passenger eliminated. You guys see that message? So we know that they're definitely carrying troops inside. So yeah, I'm gonna start targeting these BTRs. We completely eliminated that group, by the way. And there we go. Once again, completely eliminated another group of BTRs. This is like a hot knife through butter. Firing at these BTR units. They have no defense against us, more or less. Let's get the Shokal. And now I'm going to target the T-55s. One of them seems to have retreated. And let's see if we can get a final shot, or a single shot, whichever you prefer, on this unit. Oof, man, I was really hoping for a kill there. It just wasn't our lucky day. It's too bad. We're going to go ahead and grab these guys. Now, I don't like the fact that they forced us to retreat. And you can actually see, if you look up here on the right-hand side, you see that red D, guys? That lets us know that this Shokal is disrupted. He's not going to be, performing at his best at all. I'm going to go ahead and fire at that T-55 since he's really close. Looks like we reduced by 1. That's pretty good. Fire again. And no effect. Now, what I am going to do, I'm going to take our commander here, Captain Ivanchen, and I'm going to actually move him back to hill 3 if we can. It looks like he can't move, which is a little surprising to me. So I guess because of the, since he had to run, I guess he's kind of stuck there. Let's open fire again. And I'm going to fire at the disrupted unit. Yes. I think he's just going to retreat, but no, we reduced by 1. Fire out another one here. Once again, managed to get a guy to retreat, but I don't think we killed anyone, and we, in fact, did not. So hopefully we get some reinforcements. The enemy absolutely outnumbers us in just about every way, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to destroy their entire army, but I think as long as we can keep them away from Hill 3 and away from this area here, we're going to win. So that's really the goal right now. If you look back here, that's where the enemy battalion HQs are, as well as back here. If we wanted to be really cheeky, we could send out some tank units to try and hunt them, but I'm just going to stay in a defensive position for now. Let's jump into the chat here. Yeah, so as far as redeeming Sliths, there should be some information. I think, yeah, Muso actually just mentioned it. So there's definitely a place to go ahead and check out the information of what you can do with your Sliths. Don't forget your arty. Thank you. Good point. Very good point. Don't forget your arty. Let's see if we have some. Actually, we might not have. No artillery units available. Wow. So we're actually in a tough spot, that is to say, it's just our tanks here defending. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the enemy and hope for the best. Now, I think we're going to try and get a look at the Intifada before the end of this stream. It's a very large battle. It's probably my favorite in the game. It's just absolutely incredible. And the real reason we wouldn't be able to play the Intifada, the entire battle is it would probably take a good 5-6 hours. It's a very, very long battle. Unless, of course, you're just ending the turn to end the turn. Here we go. Opening fire. I don't know how he managed to see our Shokal through that smoke, but he did. Good on the T-55, I have to say. Oh, boy. Okay, the Shokal was retreated. So they did manage to scare our guys quite a bit there. And I'd love to keep firing with that Shokal this turn, but I think we're probably going to have to bring him back to that defensive position. So we're going to actually probably lose a shot this upcoming turn. There we go. They're still moving with those BTRs, and I'm almost certain they're trying to get those BTRs as close as possible to our Oasis area, deploy the men in them, and hopefully overrun us, which is probably their best chance at a victory here. You can see there's wrecks all over the desert right now. I can only imagine, a burning wreck is by itself already ridiculously hot, but out in the desert, a burning wreck, wow. That heat wave from that burning wreck must be, just extremely, extremely hot. You wouldn't want to get anywhere near that thing. In general, if you see a vehicle on fire, don't go near it. That's a good life lesson to stay alive. It's just not a good idea. Here we go. I would almost be willing to guess that even on just a regular tank in this desert climate, you could probably grill, or I should say cook an egg or fry an egg right there on the tank itself. Definitely would make a sort of rudimentary oven, and it terrifies me to think what the troops inside those tanks must have had to go through in terms of just the heat. You're in the desert, you're in a tank, as far as I know, and, please correct me if I'm mistaken, in 1973 there was no air conditioning system inside of a tank. There's certainly filtration systems so that, you're not breathing in the same air all the time, but, yeah, could be a problem. Sure enough, what did I tell you guys? They've unloaded their units, they're moving on our position with infantry now. That's their best bet, is to try and get to us, but we've got FN Foul Squads, which is an excellent rifle. I think we'll be able to stop these guys pretty easily. Oh boy, they're definitely trying to get around us here. I see an attempted flank. Congratulations! Looks like somebody redeemed something. I can't see what you've redeemed yet, but I'm going to take a look. Congratulations. Very, very cool. Okay, so they're absolutely advancing. They probably should have been doing that from the beginning. If I were playing as the Jordanians in this particular battle, which of course you can if you want, I wouldn't even have fired. I just would have kept moving towards the victory points and only fired when I was a few hexes away. Fact is, that's really the only useful range or successful range for these tanks. They're not going to be able to do much damage at a distance. The T-62s might be able to. I know very little about the T-62 tank. The T-55, I know, though, is not going to stand up to a British Centurion most of the time. That's, again, not always the case. If they're in range, trust me, a T-55 can be just as deadly as a Centurion tank. There's that T-62. And once again, see that, guys? Dropping their units. They're dropping that infantry out. And, of course, they're going to try and assault the hill. This is going to get interesting, to say the least. And I'm actually upset that we don't have that artillery because it makes our job a lot harder. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, I'm going to have to move this tank back. Let's do it. Hopefully we still get one shot. Nice. Didn't get to kill him, but hey, managed to get him to retreat. And I'm going to take this unit right here, the FN Fall Rifle Squad, and it looks like that's an armored enemy unit. Interesting, guys. So that's actually an armored. I'm not sure what the 71B, I think that's just the battalion number. These guys are going to be dangerous. So open fire. No effect. I think at this distance it's going to be hard to do any damage. We've also got that light machine gun. This thing is absolutely useful against these armored units. Disrupted. Not bad. Open fire again. No effect. We don't want them getting close because the armored units absolutely have anti-tank guided missiles or bazookas or RPGs. Basically, if they get close enough, they can be just as deadly as a tank. So let's go ahead. Yep, they're disrupted. I'm actually going to fire at the non-disrupted one here. So see if we can't disrupt him too. But no effect, unfortunately. Now, I really, really would love to go ahead and open fire on these guys with the tanks, but I think that the tanks need to focus on the enemy T-55 tanks. We can't be firing at infantry when we've got much more dangerous things ahead of us. So let's go ahead, firing at that T-55. No effect. And at this distance, our guys should be doing much better. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Reduced by 1. Good shooting, guys. Let's try to hit him again. There we go. Reduced again by 1. So we're just dumping those carcasses, those vehicle carcasses all over the desert here. And I'm also going to hit the BTR. We eliminated it, but he already dropped its passenger, so honestly, probably not the greatest idea there. I probably could have avoided firing at the BTR. There we go. No, good shooting. We managed to get the armored group to retreat, but we didn't kill anybody in that armored group. And once again, did not kill anybody in that armored group either. Now let's jump over here to our other tanks, and we'll try to get these stragglers. I'm going to fire at the T-62. No effect. We did disrupt it, but I expected a lot better. Man, these guys are right there on Hill 3. We may have to go ahead and, I hate to say this, but use our moves to just get this tank over here into position. To defend the area. I think we still have one shot. I'm going to take it. And no effect. That's getting scary, guys. They're getting really, really close. Luckily, we still have a Shokal here. We managed to actually take out another one in that unit, but most of these T-55s are doing just fine. Taking a look around, make sure we have no other support whatsoever. I'm hoping at some point during this match we get reinforcements, but considering how short this particular mission is, we might not get any reinforcements. Let's take a look here. Front on all will be a hard kill on a head-on attack. Good point. So Zach Blood made a really good point there. That basically side shots are always better. You know, obviously side armor is going to be much weaker than frontal armor on a tank or just about any armored vehicle. So, you know, it's really, really useful. And yeah, that's really cool. So Zach is mentioning that basically each of these tanks represents, for the most part, and he's right, it really depends on the scenario, but for the most part, each of these tanks represents 3 vehicles. And I think the same applies to our guys as well. So yeah, we're going to have to end the turn there. I really wish we could keep on firing, but at this point, we just have to hope for the best. So let's go ahead. Next. And let's see what the enemy's got in store. They're going to keep hitting us with arty. I'm not so much concerned about that. I'm concerned that those infantry units are going to get into this area. At that point, we are in big trouble. Boom. Come on. We can't lose our captains. All right, everybody's fine. Okay, we did once again lose one of our rifle company soldiers, but that's just one soldier. You know, so if we get out of this battle with a few soldiers lost, I'm going to consider that a victory, without a doubt. Oh boy, once again firing their smoke. And it is the enemy turn. Oh my goodness, they eliminated our Shokal, guys. This is dangerous. I told you guys, once those tanks get up close and personal, they're just as deadly. And yes, we do have more tanks up here. I knew we had some more units. They did thankfully respond either way. But what I might do is take these guys and move them forward to maybe get over here to this oasis area. Or we could keep them up there on the hill and continue firing. It really depends. Okay, so their riflemen are firing at us. I'm pretty sure that the rifles they're using are not as good as the ones we're using. It's 70, actually it could be wrong. It's 73, so they might have AK-47s. They absolutely might have some AKs, but I'm guessing that they probably have a mix of, regular rifles, AKs, RPGs, etc. Just a bunch of different, weaponry. Not like our men who are all issued with an FN FAL at the very least. Oh boy, look at that. What did I tell you guys? They're getting up close and personal now. Fire, boys, fire! Yeah, they are not afraid of dying. Not in the slightest. A little bit of return fire there, just on their advance, and our tanks are actually managing to kill these guys. Just basically automatically firing, reaction fire, as it were. It's quite similar to a lot of the games that Slytherin has, where if a unit gets into, sort of zone where your unit can see them, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to use some of that reactionary fire to do some damage. Ooh, they dropped another unit. It's a machine gun unit. I think they might be able to take Hill 3. I have to say it. I mean, I really wasn't... I was hoping that wouldn't be the case, but it's starting to look more and more likely. I will keep on firing from Hill 3, of course. Hit that T-55. Come on, boys. Ooh, boy. He is not afraid to fight back at this point. And no effect. No effect. So we're going to go on these guys on the hill. I'm actually going to target that guy. Nope, we can't, so he's lucky. If you guys look at the terrain there, there's a nice hill up here, and that's protecting this guy from any of our shots. So instead, we're going to have to focus on these tanks right here. See if we can't eliminate them. We just eliminated one group of T-55s. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can get rid of the other one. We eliminated another group of T-55s. Hey, these guys on top of the hill may be our best tankers. They're actually managing to get some very good shots. Boom! Right through the side. Unfortunately, it didn't work out so well. Oh my goodness, look at that return fire from the enemy. There we go. Beautiful. Enemy is retreating, and I'm going to take another shot. Unfortunately, all these guys are facing us, so we don't really have the opportunity, as it were, to do much. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on these guys. Oh no, we can't! That's why they're dropping the smoke. So the smoke actually stops us from seeing their troops over here. Kind of makes sense now. They don't want our tanks up here on the hill. As you can see, we're on a very high elevation to fire down on their guys. So that's why they dropped the smoke. And even over here, we're just unable to see. So I'm going to keep on hitting these guys right here. We're kind of hitting them at a side angle. Kind of. Not really. And what's that? That's Lieutenant Colonel Ovadia. I also really love in this game how they get the actual pictures of all of these commanders. Let's take a look here. Oh, very cool, Jason. Very neat. Why do I think Hill 3 is doomed, says Pixel. The Fog of War is on. Yes, absolutely. And I should have actually mentioned that once you start an actual game or, a match, you can actually decide whether or not you want to play with the Fog of War off. You can even make it harder on yourself by giving the computer the option not to have the Fog of War off when you have it on. So they'll know where your guys are, and you have no idea where their guys are until they're in your line of sight. Yes, the Vietnam setup sounds really neat. I'm looking forward to it. I have to say, really, really looking forward to it. And I think that this sort of, I guess you could call it, this engine seems to me perfect for a Vietnam setup. So let's keep on firing here at the T-55s. As you can see, they're getting close. Nice. No effect there. I was hoping for something a little better than that. I'm going to take the Chakal once again. No effect on that enemy T-55 tank. And there we go. We actually managed to reduce by 1. And I think we could probably finish this unit off. We're getting a really nice side shot there. We disrupted and reduced by 1. And eliminated that group. Really good job there. Now I'm going to take our troops with the FN False. And I'm going to try to hit their armored units. You can see they've actually got 2 of 4 men here. So there's not many men left in that group. But I'm actually more terrified about that heavy machine gun. They've got an HMG right there, so let's open fire on that thing. Guessing it's going to return fire. And I'll take these units and open fire at the armored unit directly in front of us. From what I understand, the armored unit absolutely has some anti-tank capabilities, so we want to keep it away from our Chakal tanks. Let's take a look here. Rifle. I'm going to take our light machine gun and use it against their heavy machine gun. No, I think we've already used all of our action points up there, unfortunately. That is too bad, man. Really too bad. Although you can see the amount of wrecks here, enemy wrecks, is pretty dramatic. Ooh, we're going to have to move that tank up. Fair enough. Let's do it. Not bad. Nice little flank attack there. And Hill 3 is currently still safe. Not for long, I don't think, but it's a start. Now, I could target the enemy over here, or I could target the enemy approaching over here. They do have a lot of BTRs, excuse me, things like that, as well as some BMPs. So they're going to be moving up here to Hill 3 with their infantry, and I must say, even if we do have these tanks survive, I don't think we can stop all those infantry units. Even if the infantry units don't have the capability of destroying us, which they do because they're armored infantry, so they probably have some anti-tank weaponry, they could still fire at us so many times that our guys basically just get disrupted, they freak out, and they retreat. So I think I'm actually going to target these guys right here. Try to defeat them. Ooh, that's right, because of the hill, we can't. All right, you got lucky this time. Let's target the light machine gun. Actually, let's target these BMPs. Oh, maybe we can't. No, so because of the hill here, and obviously there's elevations on this hill, we're not going to be able to. I want to see if we're going to be able to at least get up here to hill 3, so we'll have another group of tanks defending it. Yep, it looks about right. And we'll just have to hope for the best. So I'm pretty sure... Yeah, we've used up all the shots for these guys. No reinforcements as far as I know arriving here. We just have to hope for the absolute best, guys. Let's take a look here at the chat. Oh, very cool, Jason. So, wow, man. So you guys are also doing, I guess, French involvement, not just American involvement in the war. That's epic. Wow. Very, very neat. Okay, guys, we're jumping back in. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to the enemy. Don't be afraid of a tactical withdrawal, says Jason. Yeah, I could do that, but I'm stubborn. I'm really stubborn. So I think I might go ahead and just keep trying. I want to win so bad. So we're going to end the turn here. We'll let the enemy do their thing. As far as I know, we checked before, we had no Artie, and unfortunately they did kill Captain Evan Chen. That's a big loss, and I'm sure victory point-wise, we can actually take a look at the casualties to see the loss we got, but I'm sure it's a pretty significant one. And once again, they managed to kill another one of our soldiers inside that LMG unit. Every single time they fire their Artie, they manage to get one of our guys, but most of them are just fine. Once again, killed another one here. He's retreating out into the desert. Not a good idea. You know, over here, he's got some cover. Out there in the desert, he's got absolutely nothing. Once again, firing that smoke. And they're going to fire smoke here, too. Yep, sure enough. Okay, their turn. That's that heavy machine gun. Oh, boy. I want to see if somebody can check out, or maybe Jason can tell us, with that HMG, what is the size of that round that's being fired? Because I can only imagine that round, from a heavy machine gun, there's a chance, small one, that maybe it could pierce a BMP or an APC. Maybe not an APC, but I'm sure it could pierce some light vehicles if it is a particularly big projectile. And sure enough, just like I guessed, guys, their infantry is absolutely attacking here. They're managing to drop their guys off, and they're moving forward with that infantry to try to take that 200 point. I really want to hold it. Really want to hold it. And wow, Shokal is actually managing to hold his cool. Come on, man. You can do this. All right, another advance. And what did I tell you guys? Sure enough, they're moving right towards the hill. That's their goal, is to try and take those hills. Look at all those wrecks, though. It's almost looking like a sort of post-war Kuwait after Saddam's army from Iraq moved in and the Americans came in and just dropped bombs and just, you know, miles and miles of burned out vehicles. And that's kind of what's happening here. We're definitely managing to take out a lot of their vehicles. I mean, all things considered, even if they do manage to take these positions, I like to think that we've done a lot of damage to the enemy in this battle, and we certainly have. Ooh, they're going for the flank. I think they're going for the flank attack. They're going to try to drop behind us and get to that 200 point. So as Jason was mentioning about the tactical withdrawal, I'm considering now moving some guys, not necessarily withdrawing entirely, but withdrawing to that 200 point area. I'm not going to do it yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I might send, you know, one group over there to see what happens. It's too bad we don't have any Artie in this particular battle. We could really use it, especially against the infantry, not so much against the enemy tanks. Our men are targeting the T-55. I wonder if that means maybe they do have some anti-tank weapons. I didn't think they did, but maybe they do. Maybe. We'll have to see. Let there be light. There we go. Okay, guys, here we go. We're jumping back into our side. I'm going to jump here in the chat, see what you guys have been getting up to. Ooh, 12.7 millimeter. Ouch. Oh, yeah. So Jason has confirmed that for sure that 12.7 millimeter. I guess 50. It's a 50 would be the I mean, that's a massive bullet. It's a big bullet. I mean, I'm guessing with a 12.7, you could probably hold that in your palm. It might extend. I mean, if you have small hands, like some people do, certain politicians, you can always hold that in your hand, and probably would be longer than your actual palm itself. Let's take a look here. All right, so wow. Whether they're effective or not is another story. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and continue firing. And once again, as far as my shokals, I'm really going to keep them focused on the enemy armor. I would love to use these shokals against the enemy infantry, and if, desperate times call for desperate measures, I will. But I think the armor is a bigger threat. Grab our infantry, and no, I'm not moving these guys out. I know that artillery's coming in, but I just refuse. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and click F2 here. No, not the Shokal. No, this is the British Centurion Tank. Hold on. I don't know why I'm not getting any F2 information for the Foul Rifle Company. Might be doing something wrong, but I'm guessing they might have some ability to take on the enemy here. I don't want to take a risk though, so I'm really going to focus on the enemy infantry and their heavy machine gun units. Now, in this case, the enemy infantry is closer, and it's closer to our victory point. So they get to be the lucky recipients of some FN fall fire. Let's take a look over here as well. Take the Shokal. And I actually should have fired at this guy or these guys because of the fact that they're sort of showing their side to us here. No effect. We just didn't get lucky. We do still have this light machine gun unit, and it looks like the light machine gun unit, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he doesn't have action points left to fire here. What about the rifle company? He's already done his thing. We've got a Shokal here, so I'll keep using him. But we've also got this rifle company, and we need to get him back over here. And actually, I might move this guy into the 200 victory point area. I don't think we're going to be able to fire this turn. No, we're out of victory points. Out of action points, excuse me. But we've got to do our absolute best. So in this particular case, yeah, I might go ahead and actually fire on the enemy infantry units with my tanks. I said I wouldn't, but I think things might change here. So I'm actually going to focus on the armored rifle platoon, although I don't think we can hit them. Yeah, we're just out of range. Not out of range, it's just really the elevation here that's the problem. So now the question is, do I move forward and expose myself? Not like that. Not expose yourself where you're going to get arrested. We're not talking about that kind of exposing. But if I go out here and expose myself, to enemy fire, I might be able to get one shot off this turn. But is it really worth it? I don't know. I'm going to guess yes. And I'm going to move forward. Oh, boy. No effect. We got lucky there. We easily could have been disrupted. Wait a minute. Don't get happy. Oh, my goodness. We're disrupted. Yeah, I was worried about that. Nonetheless, the fight goes on. And I'm going to target the infantry. No effect on the infantry. Man. With this Shokal, I'll target the enemy tanks over here if we can spot them. But again, because of the elevation here, I don't think we're going to be able to. So, yep, we're going to move up. No, he's disrupted. That's right. Oh, he's stuck. And we've got an artillery strike coming in. Not a good situation for that tanker. Good shooting, boys. That guy got so afraid that instead of retreating backwards, he actually retreated closer to our tanks. Not the best thing you can do, obviously, and they did reduce one of our Shokals by 1. Now, in this battle, every single one of our tanks is extremely valuable. So losing even a single one is going to affect the outcome of the battle tremendously. Using that Shokal is not good. After this battle, guys, we'll take a look at the Intifada. We do have time to take a look at it. We certainly don't have time to play the entire battle, but if it's something you guys like, I'll go ahead and make a save file for us to play it in future iterations of this particular Let's Play series that we're doing here. Let's Play series, stream, etc. Let's grab this Shokal. Come on, boys. Don't be so nervous. You can get him. No, we disrupted him, but no kill there. Okay, we're going to turn it over to the enemy. We're literally going to turn it over to the enemy. Here we go. Incoming already. Okay, we're lucky that we moved that soldier out of there, or that group of men out of there. They would have been in some serious trouble. The enemy, of course, dropping 2 barrages there on top of them. All right, no effect for that first barrage. Unfortunately, that second barrage definitely managed to eliminate one of our captains, Captain Hararel. So we've lost 2 of our commanders in this battle. You know, they're certainly going to be considered heroes, but that's not good. As you can see, also the Brigade HQ, we lost 2 out of them. All we're doing now is doing our best to hold these points. That's the most important thing right now. And actually, I'll show you guys the casualties when it becomes our turn again, so you guys can see exactly what's been lost on either side. There we go. They took out another Shokal. They disrupted one. They're getting close, guys, but they only have 2 turns to take those points. Come on, men. You can do it. And, of course, after that, I'm sure their commanders would be ordering a general retreat. There's actually a video on YouTube. I believe it's why the Arabs lost the war, and it's basically talking about, you know, obviously the Arab-Israeli War, the October War, many different, the Yom Kippur War, many different wars, and one of the biggest reasons was a sort of lack of communication between the factions. You know, the commanders on the Arab side just didn't have as much leadership skill as the Israeli commanders did. That was really a big part of it. And losing a commander for our side means a lot. You know, they keep our men together. They're the glue that keeps our men together. So let's hope that our guys are still going to fight with as much ferocity as they did in the first stages of this battle. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh boy, look at that. They are in the Oasis. We've dubbed that area the Oasis. And they've got 3 groups of tanks in there now. That's scary, to say the very least. These guys may be going for a flank attack. A little late for that, I think, but... So we've got everybody on that particular victory hex, and I might do what was being mentioned earlier by Jason, which is I might go ahead and do a retreat just to that 200 point, and basically just try and hold out, you know, cross our fingers and hope for the best. Oh man, they're moving up those HMGs. As you can see, they have Hill 3 almost completely surrounded here. Nice! A little bit of return fire there. We didn't kill anybody, but we definitely got the LMG unit to retreat. And remember, when you're coming down to like 1 or 2 turns and you force a unit to retreat, That's a huge plus, because it's going to take them probably another turn to get back to where they were to begin with. It definitely messes with their plans, although it's probably not going to stop them from capturing this point if they get enough men in here. And eventually, I'm not sure how this would work, but in this game you can do assaults, where basically you select a group of units and you move into a hex, and you can actually perform an assault, basically a charge. I'm not sure what would happen if they had like 6 infantry units, or 6 infantry groups, I should say, and they assaulted a tank position. I think they could break through. Maybe not, but that's something we need to consider. Man, they are unsure of what to do for sure. Definitely unsure of what to do. Wow, look at that, man. They have a tremendous wave coming towards us. And I still feel that we have a chance of winning this battle. I really do. I think if they were moving up this way... There we go, an assault. I was wrong. Wow, what did I tell you guys? Well, sure enough, we discovered whether or not we were going to be able to be assaulted by the enemy. And yes, we were. Absolutely. Their tanks moved in there. Now I'm trying to think, should I do a counter assault? What do you guys think? I'm going to let Jason weigh in on this one, because now they've taken that 200 point here. Should I grab all these units and go for a counter assault and try to sort of sandwich them in here? Or should I just try to fire and hope that I take out these units? I'm not sure. This becomes very dangerous. Now that they've taken the Oasis position, we are in a tough spot. Let's see here what Jason says. Oh, wow, Zach, I didn't know that. That's, man. Yeah, absolutely. Ah, okay. Oh, interesting, interesting. Okay, so Jason is saying basically use one of our points to fire one shot from behind from each of these units. One. Just one. This is like preparing a recipe. It's like we want to get the correct dosage for the recipe. And now we'll take these guys and hope for the best, man. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be really tough. And Jason, just let me know if I'm doing this correctly. What I always do is select that attack. I double-click that and press OK. I'm going to do the same with these boys here. And I'm going to go ahead. Cannot attack units that have been disrupted. With units that have been disrupted. Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. We're just going to have to hope for the best. I mean, that is going to be tough. We also have some units here. And I think I'm going to move them. If I can move them, they look disrupted, so they might not be able to do anything. In the meantime, yeah, no, they are not going to be able to do much. We're just going to have to keep them here. And what about the hill? Hill 3. That's really our last bastion. Hill 4 has no real victory point value, although I don't want our battalion HQs to get shot at, so I'm going to go ahead and move them out of the way. Oh, some return fire there on Colonel Avigdor. Yeah, I think it's Avigdor. Let's go ahead and grab this guy. And unfortunately, as far as I can tell, we can't reach this area anyway. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, we can. Hey, I didn't realize that. Well, that's awesome. So I'm going to keep firing there. Hey, look at that. We managed to get 1 unit to retreat. Take a look here at what Jason's saying. Okay, so he's saying take the ones up top, then resolve assault. So I'm seeing assault, counter-assault. So I guess we just select this and press OK. Or is that what we do? Let's hope so. And yeah, we still have a few shots with these guys, and I'm absolutely going to target the unit there. We may not even have to assault if we can get this guy to pull back. Keep it up, boys. And he's getting really lucky. No effect. You can't win them all, that's for sure. No, we're not going to be able to target these guys. So I'm actually going to move this guy back into Hill 3. Let's take a look here, Edward Jason. There's a button on the bottom to resolve the assault, he's saying. Let's take a look here. If you could give us a little more info, that'd be awesome, Jason. Would this be it? We want to make sure we're doing the right thing here. So it'd be somewhere here on the bottom. Now, there's a lot of tooltips here. Let's see which one. Okay. I definitely want to get this one right because we're really on the crux of winning or losing here. Okay, bottom left, would this be it? This is indirect fire units, highlight recon units, toggle move to fire, initiate double time, resolve current assault. I got it. Okay, thank you, Jason. I didn't know that, man. That's awesome. Hey, look at that. Jason may have just saved us here. May have, I don't know, but we absolutely won that assault. And at this point, we just have to hope the enemy doesn't attack us again and undo what we've just done. So very, very cool. Thanks, Jason. It's definitely something I just learned there with the game. And actually, every time I play this game, I learn something new. That is very helpful. Let's take a look up here. Yeah, we've used up all our shots. It's really come down to the wire, guys. Here we go. Keep your heads down, boys. Oh boy. Luckily, we have nobody in that hex, and the artillery was totally on point. Sometimes, even if you fire at a certain hex, the artillery will miss and hit a hex behind, in front, to the side, etc. In this case, I want the enemy already to work. Unfortunately, we just lost Captain Caspi. Actually, Caspi could sounds a little bit Italian. He might be originally from Italy. Who knows? Of course, there were a lot of Jewish refugees after World War II that moved to Israel. So, you know, you're going to see a lot of different names when you look at the commanders that obviously represent a bunch of different nationalities. And then, of course, you have Hebrew names like Ben Aaron, Shelbet, sort of things like that. But that sounds very Italian to me. Let's go ahead and continue here. Oh boy, this poor rifle company out in the middle of nowhere. They're in trouble. Nice return fire there on the T-55. Are they going to go for another assault? I think they are. Now, if they don't, we're going to, of course, move into that hex with everybody in that area. Captain Rosen, keep your head down. Beautiful. We just managed to reduce one of the armored units. And I'm actually happy that they're focusing on that Shokal away from our victory hex. Don't really care, it's going to sound mean, but I don't really care if we lose that Shokal as long as we can hold the victory hex. Sacrifices must be made. That's just the simple truth. Oh boy. Let's see if we'll let Jason call it. And for those of you that don't know, Jason is one of the developers of the game. If not the only dev, I'm not sure. Jason, I would love you to call. Is this going to be a victory or a defeat? What do you think? You're going to have to wait and see. He's pretty good at calling it. He called it when we did the first one, and he was right. So we'll see. I'm still confident on this one. I still think we're going to win. I do. I really do. I mean, you know, the amount of enemies we've destroyed compared to the amount they've destroyed of us is, you know, something like 6 or 7 to 1. It's pretty amazing. So as long as we can keep this up, we've got a chance, I think. Ooh, boy. Look at that T-62. It's actually a pretty vehicle. Another thing, Jason, if you could shed light on the right side of the screen under the campaign series logo, we were wondering if that tank in the middle, is that a Centurion tank, a British Centurion, or is it a different tank? And if you know which one it is, could you tell us? I was almost certain that was a British Centurion, but maybe not. Maybe not. Of course, you know, as I mentioned before, the British did give or sold many of their Centurion tanks to the IDF, and of course the IDF used those tanks. Pretty good tanks, you know, pretty modern looking, of course, sleek sort of thing. They've got that, you know, that modern flathead design, whereas the T-55s, well, they look like something out of World War II. Still a pretty good tank, though. I'm really not ragging on the T-55s because honestly, they're pretty good. You just have to be close to use them. Here we go. Soviet tank is always very good tank, of course. So these guys are moving all over the place, man. Okay, they just opened fire. Or they just did an attack, an assault, and we actually succeeded in repelling it. It's really cool. So first things first, I'm grabbing all of these guys. Oh no, we can't move everybody. Disrupted unit, cannot move closer. Okay, we'll get one of our tanks. We can actually still open fire with this guy, which I'm definitely going to do. Try to get rid of as many of these T-55s as possible. We've disrupted one. That's pretty good. We've got a light machine gun unit here. Nope, can't fire. I don't really see the point of using the LMG against the tank, but who knows? You know, you can always, there's always miracles. And let's grab this unit. Nice. Reduced it by 1 once again. So we managed to kill a T-55. Let's take a look here what Jason says. Oh, so he says it's a Magach 7. Go, Agrippa, says Muso. Muso, so you could still win. Thanks, man. So it's a Magach 7. Oh, cool. Okay, so maybe an M60 or a Magach 7. So is the Magach 7 built by Israel, or is it a because a lot of the times I know the Israelis will have, like, for instance, a Centurion, and they'll call it something else. I'm not sure if they change things on it, or if it's just the Hebrew name. I'm not sure. Let's take a look here. 150. Wow. Let's take a look here. Yeah, move the infantry back into the Oasis as Lanzer. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do everything we can to hold on there. So I'm going to take a look here. Yeah, Jason Peter. So we're going to take a look at the victory dialogue box. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is the casualties box. So let's take a look here. And I want to find, just really quickly here, I believe it's in objectives, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, it's not in objectives. Strength. So guys, if you take a look here, these are the losses, the total losses for each side. And this just goes to show you the difference between the Israeli fighting forces and the Arab League or the Egyptians or the Jordanians. Look at this. So we've lost 7 shokals. Yeah, it's pretty big. You can see 9 victory points for each shokal. That's a pretty big loss. 7 rifle platoons. Now, this doesn't mean an entire rifle platoon. I'm pretty sure this is referring to single soldiers in the platoon. 1 light machine gun troop, 2 brigade HQs, that one hurts, and 3 commanders. Now, the commanders really, really hurt. But look at this. We have killed 28 T-55s, 8 BTRs, 2 BTR-60s, what else? 8 armored platoon troops and 4 light machine gun troops. I mean, unbelievable. And if you look at the difference in strength between us and the enemy, I mean, it's just amazing. And we're still managing to hold on. So, it really goes to show, I'm not sure if we could say that we're technologically more advanced. Maybe we are. But we're certainly have more of a will to fight, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to move those units in, but we might still be able to get this tank in here. Oh! Come on. No! No! The heavy machine gun's firing at us, and I'm still afraid. Here we go. Okay, guys, I'm hoping that I saved us here. No, that guy's stuck. There's no way he's moving. He's disrupted. He's terrified. He's out in the middle of the desert. Yeah, he's not having a very good time. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, things aren't looking good for him. Yeah, I want to see what you guys think about the casualties there. I think the casualties in the game, one of the most fascinating things. I always love games that like give you an idea of how much damage you've done or how much damage you've received, especially military games. And I can't tell you how in the Intifada mission, how important that victory point thing is. Because in the Intifada mission, you actually have armed citizens firing on you. But if you return fire and kill them, you actually lose victory points. So just imagine, you're getting shot at by armed civilians. Now, obviously, they have pretty rudimentary weapons, maybe pistols, maybe some World War II rifles, but they could still kill you. But if you return fire and kill them, well, you're going to lose some victory points. So you kind of have to offset, am I going to return fire on these civvies, or am I going to hang back or try to break through without shooting at them? And it really gives you some very difficult sort of moral decisions to make. It makes you realize how tough it would be for the Israelis to move in and, without hurting somebody. And of course, we try not to stay political on this channel at all. We do not support either side. You know, guys, we're war gamers. We're strategy war gamers. We're here to have fun. We're not here to talk politics. But it really does, doesn't matter what conflict you're in when there's civilians involved, and that's just about every conflict. Yeah, it's tough to make those close calls. When you've got, for instance, a group of civilians and a few civilians in that group have Kalashnikovs, well, you've got a problem, and you've got to figure out how to return. Let's see. MG versus Tank, who wins, indeed. Almost a full battalion of Soviet armors, Jason says, for what we've killed. Nice. Okay, so it was imported and renamed with local modifications. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So, I guess that with when the Israelis changed the name of like the Centurion to the Magach, or I forget what the name of the machine gun, but they call it a Mag instead of the original name. I guess they do their own modifications to the weapon. Wow, Jason, that's it, man. Yeah, -9. And Jason, I got to tell you, man, I was playing, and I love that mission. We're gonna take a look at it here before we end the stream. But I was playing that mission, and I thought I was winning because I managed to take all the victory points, and I was so excited. And then I lost, and I looked, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, how many civilians have I killed? And I think it was something like 72. It was really bad. I was basically just an evil commander, and I didn't even realize it. The way I saw it, I was like, hey, I'm getting shot at. I have to return fire. Let's take a look here. Interesting. Yeah, that's true, Kandra. That is tough. It is tough. It is tough. Trigger happy? A little bit. I mean, I wonder what you guys would say. For instance, and this is for all of you guys if you want to answer there in the chat. If you're in a war, let's say you're approaching a village, and of course you've got protesters that aren't happy that you're there, and all of a sudden, you're a commander of men, and your guys start getting shot at. What would you do? Honestly, put it in the comments. What would you do? I'm not sure what I would do. I don't think I'd ever want to be in that situation and have to make that call. Anyway, guys, we're here on the last turn. Are we going to win? Let's see. Have faith, boys. Oh boy. You could do it, guys. We just pushed back one of the T-55 groups. Oh no, they just pushed back one of our shokals. Oh man, we can do it. Hold on, guys. Just hold on to the end of this turn and we got a victory here. And yeah, you guys are right. There is that one commander that's still alive. Somebody mentioned that. Yeah, he's just barely managing to cling on. I don't think they can go for a charge, so I think this is ours. I think we win. Nice. We just killed a BMP. Good shooting, boys. You've still got it. And I'm not sure if you could, Jason, or just about anybody, you know, the explanation for the First Intifada, I have to say that, you know, Middle East wars for me, I don't know nearly as much as I'd like to. I know a little bit more about the Second Intifada, but the First Intifada is definitely something I'd love somebody to maybe put a description in the comments, because it's very complicated. Politically, it's very complicated. Militaristically, it's very complicated. And we're going to take a look at that mission here in a second. And when you see that mission, you're going to be amazed. Just amazed at, number one, the size, the scope, and just about everything about it is just so amazing. We can play as the Palestinian side if you guys want me to, because we've played as the Israelis the entire time. But I think just for the sake of showing you guys what's going on, I might go ahead and play as Israel. Maybe the next time we do a stream on Campaign Series Middle East, we'll try and play as either the Arab League or the PLO or somebody else. Come on, guys, you got this. What an overwhelmingly... What an embarrassing defeat for the enemy. I mean, they had so many tanks here, so many men, they still couldn't take those positions. Too bad, just too bad. Well, for them at least. Nice shot. We killed a T-62. Who said T-62s were superior? Get out of here. They are desperate to try and get to Hill 3. This is like me playing. They're like, oh my goodness, maybe there's something we could do to still get this victory. Maybe there's still a chance. Another thing I love about the Intifada is it has the bulldozers in it. You know, for instance, the Israelis would send in bulldozers to knock down some Palestinian homes. You know, that was a big part of both the First and Second Intifada. I remember even as a kid with the Second Intifada seeing those images of those bulldozers coming in and, of course, being attacked by, you know, obviously people that live there are going to attack them. By the way, we killed another T-55. Good shooting, guys. But, yeah, it's a really tough situation, without a doubt. All right, that's their armored infantry, and they did kill one of our shokals. They are definitely getting desperate here. This is the final attack. Let's see, boys and girls. Oh, I think there's still one more turn, but I think it's our turn, if I'm not mistaken. So I think once we end it, we win. Just in case I'm wrong, I'm going to keep firing. So just in case I'm wrong, see if we can get rid of these tanks there. We just eliminated another T-55. And you guys are right. Good old Captain Rosen has survived the entire battle to probably be an Israeli hero at this point. Is he going to live to the end? I hope so. I really do. Press F to pay respect. Yeah, absolutely. YOLO, you only live once. Jeez. You guys are just like, you're evil. It's like, well, should we shoot at civilians? Well, you only live once. Gotta do what you gotta do. Hill 3 is holding. Wow, says Pixel. Yep. Samuel says, time to drink. Oh, my goodness. Oh, absolutely, Jason. Absolutely. Civilians are protected against attack unless and for such time as they take a direct part in hostilities. And I totally agree with what you're saying there, Gary's. I think the question I'm getting at is if you've got like 50 civilians and 2 of them have guns and are shooting, do you fire on the whole group? I don't know. It gets complicated, and it's probably one of the reasons why this is such a controversial conflict. And by the way, I do want to thank hugely want to thank Jason, not only for doing this, but the Vietnam game you mentioned that is coming up next. These are very controversial wars, and I know that the people watching this stream, and myself included, you know, we're so glad that you guys are willing to tackle that stuff, because a lot of us, we want to be able to play these controversial wars. We want to see what they were like. We want to see what happened, you know, how did soldiers react? What was the terrain like? What was the battle like? And we have that opportunity with games like Campaign Series Middle East. So I'm very, very excited about what you guys have coming up. I will say that. All right, Hill 3 is still good. Yeah, man. I'm going to stay here. I'm firing at the infantry. Let's do it. They're desperate to kill us, and they are armored units. So they have RPGs. I'm guessing probably RPGs. I don't think they have any ATGMs. It's a little more high-tech. But they seem to be holding out pretty well. No effect. Let's go up here. Thankfully, they're also on a very high elevation, so we can spot them. But the enemy tanks are returning fire. I'm not too concerned about the tanks, though. I want to try to reduce as much damage to Hill 3 as possible. Got another one here. Yeah, we'll try to take out that T-55. I just want to get some more T-55 kills. I'm not even going to lie. I just want to see how many I can rack up. See if we can get it up to 30. Nice. It's another one down. Let's take a look here at the chat. RPGs. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, so they've got RPGs. And yeah, a rocket-propelled grenade can definitely take out a Centurion. Definitely. It's, you know, not going to be as easy to take out a Centurion with an RPG as, say, like a T-55, but you can definitely, if not take it out, you can definitely disable it. And a disabled tank, pretty much useless in battle. Well, let's go ahead. Next. Time limit reached on scenario. And let's see. Side B, major defeat. And we are side A. We are side A, right? Right? I think we are. Yeah, we're side A. So we actually did well, and I think the reason that we managed to win, if I'm not mistaken, maybe we lost here. Let's let Jason tell us. This is 151 total points, minus 151, but I'm hoping that we're not side B, because that would mean we lost, although I don't think that's the case. We'll have to see here. Let's take a look. Let's see what Jason says. This might be a defeat. Let's see. Spearhead Gamer is going with the zombies. He's got zombies everywhere. Let's not jump into that zombie and human thing you guys did ages ago. But hey, that was fun, man. I didn't expect us to hold those positions at all. And if we just look along the map here, there are so many wrecks. It's just the desert is on fire. It really is. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK there. You can also look here, like depending on the victory points that you have, and determine sort of what kind of victory you had, whether you had a minor victory, a major victory, etc. That's all things you probably want to consider. So I'm going to click OK here. I don't want to save the current file. What I do want to do is show you guys the Intifada, the first Intifada. Now, we're definitely not going to have a chance to play this whole thing. We might have a chance to play a turn or two. But this is a very complex battle. And it's absolutely going to take a little bit of a long time, let's say. So I'm going to try to find it here. Sorry, this might take a little while to find the Intifada. One of the greatest things about this game is just the massive amount of additional scenarios you can download. It's just amazing. You never run out of stuff to do here. Let's see, where is that Intifada? Radiance of Libya is also a really good battle. I mean, I have not even come close to playing all the battles in this game, but I would say 85% of the ones I've played, I love. I've got to say, I'm not really a guy that's big into espionage, so with like the commando raid battles, I think that's going to appeal to a lot of gamers. Because, you know, you get to basically win a battle with only a few troops. But for me, what I end up doing is I just end up giving away my position, opening fire on units I shouldn't open fire on. And, of course, it causes a big, big problem. Let's keep on moving. Boom, 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 boom. Where's that Intifada? Where's the Intifada? If somebody spots the Intifada before I do, then you get 100 slits. How's that? I think we can make that happen. Just look at this, guys. So Battle for Jerusalem, let me see, hold on. This is also a great fight. There we go, guys. Here we go, the Intifada revised. We're going to go ahead and jump into this. There's an explanation here of the Intifada itself. I'm not going to, go into explaining the entire thing right now, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into this scenario. And the complexity on this is 8. So you've got like complexity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is really one of the most complex scenarios you can play in the game. So I am playing as the side A. I'm going to be playing manual, and side B will be played by the computer. So if you guys want things to be a bit easier, you can always like sort of toggle this to make things easier or harder, etc. You can also select computer with fog of war. This would give us the ability to see everything the enemy's doing, or vice versa. But I tend to keep things pretty simple, pretty straightforward like this. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Good win. I won. Nice. Good. Thanks, man. Very cool. And sure enough, what was that? Does anybody remember the commander's name? Let's see if somebody remembers that commander's name. If you do, you guys win. You win something. I don't know what you win yet, but you win my respect. How about that? It's not worth too much. Let's go ahead and take a look here, guys. When you see this map, you are gonna just be amazed at how much detail has gone into this. So here we go. We'll get a look at the first Intifada. Oh, yeah. Okay, guys, it's our turn, and I'm just going to give you guys a little tour of what we're dealing with here. So we've got the police station over here, which is currently under control of the PLO. And if you take a look here, they've got some regimental HQs. They've also got some leaders like Colonel Hashim and some militia cars. You've got to be very aware that a lot of these militia cars are going to look exactly like civilian vehicles, and you have to be extremely careful not to target these guys if they're civilians, or else you're killing, you're killing unarmed people. Now, over here, interestingly enough, is also the Jewish quarter. And so we do have some units here, mostly settlers. We do have a few, I believe, militia platoons, but I don't think we control these guys. So now we're going to go out to the main area. Now, remember when I told you guys about the armed civilians? Yeah, they're right here. So we've got these angry mobs, and these are the angry mobs, right? Now, when I played this the first time, I killed just about everybody here. And apparently, from what I've learned, you can't do that. Yeah, you got to probably kill some to move into these positions, but you got to be very careful. And amongst these angry mobs, we've got groups of civilians that have nothing to do with the fight. Now, on our side, we've got these beautiful police armored buses. Another thing you want to be very aware of, if you guys look at the right side of the screen, if you have a vehicle and there's a little helmet there, and the helmet is filled in, then there are people inside this bus. And from experience in this game, you want to try to drop these guys off as soon as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and actually drop some of these guys off. I think they're going to be Riot Police, and sure enough, they are. If we select the Riot Police, then we can see here, Riot Police are trained and equipped to maintain public order in the face of protests and riots. Typically, Riot Police use less than lethal methods to control the situation. I'm assuming probably something like rubber bullets. Rubber bullets can still kill. There's a reason that they're called less than lethal. And we've also got, of course, some cats, some bulldozers. Not like a kitty cat. These are bulldozers that, of course, we're going to be using to move into this area. We've got to move into the city. There's so many different areas here that we need to take. The Muslim school, the Sheikh Mohammed area. We've got to retake the police station. And then if we go over here to the east, there's actually a PLO terrorist camp. And these guys, if you look there, I'm not sure if you guys are seeing that on the right side, but they have, I guess, I forget what they're called. Is it a kafaya? I think it's a kafaya. Sort of the Arab headdress, and these guys are pretty good. And as you can see, they've got a lot of men. Actually, this is the Jewish settlement. This is a continuation of the Jewish settlement. And over here, we've also got some people, as well as some leaders, such as Captain Jonah. And this is an area that gets a lot of attacks from the enemy. We've also got the UN refugee camp. Under no circumstances can you go into this area and start shooting. These people, even though we've actually got some enemy leaders in this area. So this guy, Fatih, I actually killed him in my Let's Play, which is mean. Since he's in the UN refugee camp, you don't want to be targeting that guy. Leave him alone. And we've got a CNN news van. That's right. When I first played, I fired an artillery round somewhere over here. There were Palestinian troops, and it accidentally hit the CNN news van and destroyed it. As you could probably imagine, that's not going to be good for your victory points in the slightest. You're fairly surrounded there, says Pixel. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So Jason says, playing with Fog of War means that you don't see what's happening on the enemy side. Yeah. Rosen, yes, so Rosen. Let's see if Rosen has a Wikipedia page. I wonder. It would be cool if he did. And thank you, Spearhead, for giving us a First Intifada link so people can sort of read about it. And it's such a complicated situation, such a complicated war. We're going to get started. We're definitely not going to have a chance to get into this. But just as an example, like for instance here, Captain Latif and the Palestinian rifle companies, we're absolutely going to open fire on them. You know, they're armed. They're not civilians. They are properly armed guys. So we've got a light machine gun here. Let's see. I want to try to kill Captain Latif. Obviously trying to take out enemy commanders. That's a big win for us if we can do it. Come on, boys. And another really cool thing is these Nagmash is the name of this particular vehicle. The Nagmash is used to transport troops, and it's obviously based off a US M113 APC. So this is a US vehicle, but the great thing about it is not only can you use it to ferry troops, but it's pretty effective against enemy units in general. So I'm actually going to fire at that PLO group there. I believe PLO stands for the People's Liberation Organization, or Palestinian Liberation Organization, or Palestinian Liberation Army. We have to, of course, try and take them out. But this just shows you the complexity of this particular battle. It gets really, really complex, really confusing, because, you know, on the one hand, you've got civilians, angry civilians, on one part of the battlefield. On the other part of the battlefield, you've got proper enemy troops. And sometimes it can be hard to decide which is which. I'm going to keep firing at that Captain Latif. I really want to take him out. I don't think we're going to, though. I think we should probably focus our fire on the PLO troops. There we go. Hey, nice shooting, guys. We got the PLO troops to retreat there. No, we're not going to be able to hit them from this distance, or we don't have any action points left. Let's fire again. No, we have to move up. Oh, boy. This is not a safe place to be right now. And actually, they just killed one of our Tsanahim soldiers. So I'm going to actually grab all these guys. First of all, I'm going to dismount. Dismount. Now, another thing you can do in this game, I'm not sure if I showed you guys this before. Let's say you really, really have it out for a specific unit, and you want to do everything you can to kill it. You can actually double-click here, and you'll take all of the units in that hex, and we're going to use that to target Captain Latif here. But unfortunately, since there's sort of a dip here in the terrain, I don't think we're going to be able to. What about these guys? Nope, we can't target them either. Nope. Ooh, these PLO troops got lucky on this one. I must give it to them. So I'm actually going to take my my M113s. Try to get over here. Oh, okay. Passenger disrupted. Uh-oh. Wonder if we could still drop some units here. Oh, boy. So as soon as our guys got out of the truck, they fired. I think we can get a shot, and we're going to do that whole thing, selecting the entire group. No, unfortunately, we don't have enough victory points to attack with all of our men. But we could still attack with some of our Tsanahim, and we reduce by 2. So you can see they're pretty effective, our Tsanahim troops. And they certainly know what they're doing. They're trained. Fire again on that PLO unit, and we got them to retreat and reduce by 1. I'm going to go ahead and get a shot here. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to kill one of these armed civilians, I know, armed mob, to show you guys what happens. So let's go for it. I don't think we're close enough, actually. We might have to wait a turn before these Riot Police are able to attack. I think that's the case. Let's see. It might also be the case that with the weapons they're using, they need to be closer. Yep, that's what it is. So let's go ahead. Okay. Reduce by 1. So here we should be able to show... Let's see. Strength. So here we go. Look at that, guys. We got 3 victory points for killing the 3 Palestinian riflemen, but since I opened fire on that angry mob and killed 1 person, -9 victory points. I mean, it's unbelievable. So you've got to be so careful. And the thing is, you can see that they're blocking the road, like true protesters would. You know, they're all here blocking the road. They're blocking access for our troops, and we've got to take out some of them, or else we're not going to be able to move into this area. So it really, really makes you. It gives you a lot of really tough decisions to make, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm unloading those police buses, primarily because I've had many instances in this particular scenario where the police bus gets hit and everybody inside is dead. It's that simple. You know, if there's passengers inside a bus and it blows up, you guys can pretty much guess what happens. We've also got these cats over here. But basically, guys, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really just wanted to give you guys a look at the First Intifada. There's many different missions like this in the game, but this is one of my favorites without a doubt. If we jump into the amount of artillery we have in this mission, it's massive and it grows. This actually increases throughout the mission. We've got some Tempelas. These are 120 millimeter arty pieces, and you know, you can drop them on the people. You could. It's not a good idea, but you know, it's one way to clear the way. And what I try to do when I replay this mission is I try to basically scare them away from the victory points, take the victory points, and ignore the fact that they start shooting at me, because they will shoot at you. There's no doubt about that. We also have some armor here, if you take a look, led by Captain Erez. And these armor pieces are very valuable, very deadly. They can break through just about anything that the Palestinians have here, except when you get over here close to the terrorist camp. The Palestinians do have some anti-tank weapons, and they can definitely put a stop to those tanks. But these tanks are invaluable during this mission. You want to take very good care of them. Let's jump over here and see what Jason says about that. Yes. So Sigurd is saying those are some thoughtful game mechanics. And yes, absolutely, man. They really are. Jason had to go. No worries, mate. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's thoughtful game mechanics, but you know, makes the game really tough. And you could see there are 9 victory points. Like even if we took out like 4 soldiers, like 4 enemy soldiers, if we kill just one of these armed mob units. Not even an entire unit, just one of the people inside the unit, then we suffer dramatic victory point penalties. So look at that. We just eliminated an entire group of them, reduced by 4. Let's see what that's done to our victory points. It's not going to be good. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. So 9 minus 9. Is that minus 81? Oh, man. So if even just starting off like that, you know, minus 81 victory points, you are crawling back so much to get a victory. You've got so much work to do. So if you're going to jump into the First Intifada in the game, you've got to keep in mind that if you're going to start opening fire on these angry mobs, and you are going to be forced to probably attack them or open fire at them at some point, you need to reduce that as much as possible. You can't just be shooting at these guys. And the tough part is they're going to be shooting at you the entire time. Not to mention, they can take these victory points. So you really have to play around with the mechanics and be as careful as possible. I wish that there was like tear gas. I think that would be a really cool addition. I'm not sure if that could be added to the game engine, but for instance, if you could like switch over from bullets to tear gas and like force the people to retreat but not necessarily kill anybody, that would be really great. In this case, the best thing you can hope for is that your rubber bullets don't cause any serious casualties, but that you can scare the people away from the major areas like these victory points. If you can do that, then you're off to an okay start. Otherwise, you're going to have some trouble. That being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this Let's Play. Really have a lot of fun with this game. This is just a game I love to play. I know so little about these Mideast conflicts, and I want to learn more. And it just really gives you an insight into the mind of a soldier and how tough a lot of the decisions that a soldier makes are. You know, unfortunately, you can't always be the good guy in war. There's just, you know, it's always gray. It's never black or white, unfortunately. Good show today, says Lanzer. No problem, man. Woohoo, Musa says. But I don't deserve these slits, says Muso. You could always donate them. You donate them to the users. Thank you again, guys. You guys are the best. As always, Agrippa Maxenius here, signing out. Musa will put some links down below if you guys want to check out my channel. I'd love you guys to stop by there as well. I do have actually a campaign series currently up on my channel that's focusing on the Second Arab-Israeli War. And please stop by, subscribe, check out the stuff we've got there. A lot of Slytherin stuff as well as a lot of other stuff. Just fun strategy games. No problem, Garys. Thank you all for watching. And hey, be careful with those civilians. Remember, guys, be careful. See you next time, my friends.